Roughly half of our end users use poly spreaders, which we have a perfectly wonderful product in the Tornado for, but that about half of our users use steel spreaders, and in this case, in the market these days, steel spreader and stainless steel spreader are synonymous. Poly is much more highly corrosion resistant, so it's very popular in the lower sizes. However, it isn't as structurally rigid as steel, and therefore the further up you go in terms of hopper size, the more you start to require a steel unit. So when we decided that we wanted to have a line that not only included like a 7-foot 1.5 cubic yard unit like we have here, we wanted to go as far as a 10-foot 6 cubic yard unit. That meant we're talking steel. So we have a steel line to complement our poly line in parallel. But what we did when we designed that was we added some new features, including an electric motor for the smaller hoppers, the 7, 8, and 9-foot units, as well as put some innovations in the chutes for all of the units that help improve the spread pattern coming off of the back of the hopper. The thing that we know about steel hoppers is they have a defined price, but within that defined price, we found that there were some innovative things we could do, particularly in the chute area, which is really the area where the business gets conducted. The hopper holds the material, it conveys the material down to the end here, but the chute is really what determines what comes off of the hopper, how it comes off, the spread pattern, and so forth. So we did a couple of things. One of the #1 things that we learned when we were doing spread pattern testing as we were designing this is that there are 2 places on the spinner that you want material to land, and you don't want it landing anywhere else. If it lands on the back half of the spinner as it rotates in a clockwise manner, when it lands on roughly the back half of the spinner, it is flung out and behind the truck. When it lands on the front half, it's flung under and into the truck. So what we designed in was a pair of baffles in here that convey all the material only to the 2 quadrants on the spinner that we want, that actually cause the material to be flung out and away from the unit. Then we also added a deflector at the bottom that is circular, and the circular deflector's purpose is to basically hold material on the spinner as it spins so that it only releases at the times and places that we want it to. Then the other thing that we did for our electrical units was we sealed the gearbox, and using a sealed gearbox increased the efficiency of our gearboxes considerably. And the other thing that we did was we sealed away the spinner motor. Under normal circumstances, there'd be a plate here that protects the spinner motor from any salt. That would be placed away from the material, and the rest of our electronics are up here in what is called the mailbox, whose purpose is to isolate everything else from any of the corrosive environment that the electrical hopper is subjected to.